I see you, TBR. You're not welcome in this town. Oh, is that what cowboys do? I don't know. Welcome back to Dead Good Book Reviews. I'm Judith, and today I'm bringing you my last chance TBR. I don't know why, it gives me Western vibes. So I have a pile of books here. Basically, if you haven't already watched my book unhaul video, go and watch that. Go and do it. Go and have an observe of that video. I pulled a bunch of books off my shelf, and some of them I'm not quite ready to part with without a second glance. So these are 12 books that I want to give a second chance. I want to reread them and check if I want to keep them or not. If you don't know, my criteria for keeping a book on my shelf is I want to reread it. That is my criteria. So if I've read a book before and I want to read it again, it's staying on my shelves. So all of these are ones where I go, I don't know, maybe. 2 of these are on my September TBR, so the TBR I am currently working on. So by the time this video goes up, in theory, I will know if I want to read them or not. One of them is set to be on my October TBR because it would have been my rereads jar, and all the rest are pulled off the shelf. So let's start with what's on my September TBR. I do have A Memory Called Empire. That would have been in this pile, but I am about 150 pages into it and I'm confirmed I want to keep it. So that's nice and easy. Once in Future by Amy Rose Capetta and Corey McCarthy. I'm rereading this to see if I like this enough to want to keep, knowing I didn't like the sequel. So whether the first book just reminds me that I didn't like the sequel or not, I'm hanging on to it. The Orphanage of Gods by Helena Coggan. I don't know. I can't remember much about it. It felt really bad to get rid of a special edition of a book. This is the Illumicrate edition, if I wasn't certain. So I'm hanging on to it. I say that I have got rid of special editions of things in my unhaul, but they were much worse books. The book that will go on my October TBR, if I haven't read it before then, is Runelight by Joanne Harris. I have read this before, and all of these I've read before. I have read this, and I have read the rest of the books in the series. This one I've hung on to because it was signed. In fact, all of them were signed, but I didn't love the others enough to want to keep them. But I didn't want to get rid of all of them because it's a nice memory. Like, we had a really good evening. She's very nice. I wanted to reread it and see if I had a better time. Now that I'm under much less pressure from my TBR, I find I have a bit more time to spend on books that I'm not sure of. So those are definitely in the cards. I know when I'm reading them. The rest of them, my plan is to have them in my TBR and pick them out when I'm feeling like it. Given that I've finished my rereads jar, or will have by the time Runelight is read, and my TBR is pretty small at the moment, so there's plenty of time. So I have a whole bunch of stuff at random, no particular order. These Rebel Waves by Sarah Rush. I have read the sequel to this, and I didn't love it. So again, this is much like Once in Future. This is a, do I want to keep this book on its own merits? Which does happen sometimes. It happened with The Last Namsara. I really enjoyed that on its own. Night Flights by Philip Reeve. I have read all of the Mortal Instruments books. I read them all from the library, and I absolutely love them. I thought they were really, really fabulous. And then I saw this little hardback, this little beautiful hardback with illustrations and just niceness. I really couldn't resist, and I think part of it was that I really wanted the new covers for the Mortal Instruments, but since I already read them, I couldn't really justify buying them, so this was my way of kind of getting into that world. So I think I probably will end up keeping this anyway, but I did want to give it another reread because I'm pretty sure that the only time I've read this I was in a optician's waiting room, and I don't know if that's the best place to focus in on books. So that is being reread. Wild Savage Stars by Christina Perez. I haven't hung on to Sweet Black Waves, which was the first book in the series. I'll be honest, I'm not anticipating hanging on to this one. This is the second part of a Tristan and Isolde retelling, and it was just a bit too people don't communicate and that's the plot for me. But I wanted to give it another chance. Probably quite likely to DNF this if I'm really not feeling it. But it's there. Who knows? Maybe I'll suddenly discover I love it. Don't fall down, please. Ooh, I have a series. Now, I never thought I would be considering getting rid of a Kirsten White book, but I'm considering getting rid of 2. I'm debating whether I hang on to her Buffy books, Slayer and Chosen. It's tough because they aren't my favourite series. Am I going to want to continue reading them? And I think if I own both of them, I will want to keep reading them, and I don't necessarily enjoy them, and that feels stupid. So, don't know. Gonna give them a reread, and if I enjoy them, I will keep them. I think these will probably lean more on the I'll have to really dislike them to actually want to get rid of them, because at the moment I'm building up quite the Kirsten White collection, and I kind of don't want to give that up. Another kind of series that I'm considering unhauling are my V. Schwab Cassidy Blake books. So those are her middle grade, purely because I didn't love the second one. I'm not really a middle grade reader, and I don't know if I want to hang on to them, but I also kind of want to reread them back to back, because I didn't do that when I read Tunnel of Bones. I just read Tunnel of Bones, I was going to say raw, on its own. I want to get a sense of the plot between the two, because I think that's what I'm actually interested in. I'm not too fussed about the individual books. I also want to double check how many books there are going to be, because if this is one of those middle grade series that will just kind of go forever until people stop buying it, maybe I need to duck out at book 2. Right, I have 2 more. I have one that was sent to me. It still has the press release in it. That's how sent to me it was. This is Angel Mage by Garth Nix. When I read this the first time, I was in a huge rush at life. My TBR was driving me mad, and I didn't really love this. I think I was on the blog tour for this, but I didn't love it. And having now read The Left-Handed Booksellers of London and not had a terrible time with Garth Nix's adult stuff, I think it is time to give this its second chance. And if I still don't like it, then it can go and I won't feel bad about it. Whereas now, if I got rid of this just straight away, I think I would be concerned that I didn't give it its fair shot. And then a book that I forgot I had because I left it with a friend for a while. This is Nocturne, and this is another Fairy Loot one that I didn't really know much about, and I can't remember much about it. Magic comes with a price, people in line for the throne, people releasing hungry magic on the world. I don't know. It could be great. I don't remember it, and I can't justify getting rid of it if I can't remember anything about it. Those are my 12 books. I'm going to read them whenever I feel like it, and then when I'm done with them, I will decide if they want to come back on the shelves or not. I think there is now space for them. I'm pretty sure. We shall see. I don't know, maybe that will be a bit of the decision-making process for the last few. But if there are any of these that you're thinking, oh no, absolutely, don't bother reading that again, it turns out it's super problematic or something, comment below. Or if there's anything on here you really want to save, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. You can also, while you're down there, follow me on all of my social media, that's linked below. And then you can subscribe, which makes me feel loved and appreciated. That's all from me, and I will see you in the next one.